That's literally the most useful advice I could ever give you or I've ever followed for myself. And it's the same, I hate to say this, but when it comes to books, like 99% of the time, if you're reading self-help books, like they're not gonna really help you. We got an outdoor event taking place at the Power Plant Mall today. They got like shops and clothing. We picked up some desserts that are kind of unique. A purple one and an orange one. I can't wait to see what those are. I don't even know me about them. What's up guys? So I'm right here at the Proscenium at Rockwell on the 5th level, and I am pretending that I am sitting in a stadium and there's an audience of like 300 people, and I'm at the front and there's a person across from me, and that person says to me, Justin, in your own words, what do you think has helped you take the actions that you've taken to get outside your comfort zone and do certain things pretty well in life, as earlier than most people do them? Just to give you some quick backstory, very quickly in like less than 20 seconds. By the time I was 19-year-old, I had my first $30,000 month in business. I had my first 6-figure year, first $10,000 per month business at 19. At 23, I had a $360,000 per year business. At 19, I wrote and self-published my first book. At 21, I left my home state of New York and bought a one-way ticket to Arizona, and then just basically lived there. And then I've traveled across the world at a very young age in my 20s with the goal of living tax-free. And I've been moderately successful with that. I let some interpersonal priorities and relationships kind of stop some of those goals, but I picked them back up. And yeah, I've helped over 250 people start their own online business and become successful. My clients and students have made millions and millions of dollars collectively in total when you add them all together. I don't know the real number, but some of my students have gone on to make multiple millions per year. So I do feel comfortable saying at this point that by 2022, my students have made over tens of millions of dollars in the multi-8-figure range, not because of me, but because of my influence on them at the right time. And I did help them and did play a small part, but I helped them advance themselves a lot quicker. So back to the original question, what actions, what do I think has allowed me to take these actions? Because a lot of people don't take these actions. A lot of people just don't take risks, and a lot of people just they do what they're told, and they just kind of follow the traditional conventional route in life, like go to college or university if you can afford it, if you have the means and resources to do so. You know, get a steady, reliable job, save your money, you know, get a health insurance policy, you know, live frugally, pinch pennies to a degree, you know, try to have fun when you can, and try to compromise where you can, and don't compromise where you don't have to. So that's generally traditional wisdom and advice. And for me, what has allowed me to take actions is to just stop thinking about what is required of me to get what I want in life, and just basically turning off my thinking entirely. Whenever I'm doing these YouTube daily vlogs, the number one way for me to be successful and productive with this YouTube vlogging vision I have, which is to make higher quality content and to also keep the quantity very high, which is one new video every single day. The way I'm able to do that is I just have to stop thinking. That's literally the most useful advice I could ever give you or I've ever followed for myself. Is I used to be a crazy thinker, where I would just sit around all day. I'd walk around at night. I'd spend hours and hours thinking about my life, my future, and reflecting on my past, thinking about all the things I would do differently in my past. And there are hundreds of those things I would have done differently in my past, with relationships, finances, with everything. I'm sure the same is for you. The one thing that set me free is I just stopped thinking about my past. I wrote down a simple sentence for what I want my future to look like. That's pretty much wraps around everything I'm trying to do for that topic. So it's like, I have this business sentence, I have this health sentence describing where I want to be for the rest of my life in like 7 to 10 words. And then I forget about the past, I forget about the future, and in the present, I just make rapid fire decisions that have some logic based into them and some inherent risk baked also into them as well. No matter what you do, there's risk, okay? So I don't even really think about risk as nearly as much as other people. I just don't even think about it because I'm not thinking at all. When it comes to buying something expensive, I absolutely consider the risk, and I'm very risk averse now when it comes to doing things that require a lot of money. When I was 27 or 28, in that range or period of my life, I loaned a bunch of money to a real estate flipper, and that was an enormous sum of money. I'll just tell you, it was 150,000 US dollars, and he still hasn't paid me back, and it's been several years. He paid me for the first 6 months, and then from there on out, he hasn't paid me. And there's a story behind that, and it might not entirely be his fault. I mean, it's definitely not his fault, but he does. I don't know if I'm gonna get that money back. So I'm very risk averse when it comes to money. And that's one thing I didn't. The reason why I found myself in this predicament is because back then when I was 27, 28, I was still highly ambitious, quite arrogant. So ambitious, arrogant, and impatient. He made me an offer that would turn a man who has those three traits to consider doing the offer, and I did it, and it didn't work out. But at any rate, just don't think when you are, because when you think, you trap yourself. When you become a thinker, that's mostly like, the more you think, the more you will think in the future. The less you think, the less you will continue to think. I mean, thinking is necessary, right? I'm not saying don't think. What I am saying is you're probably not getting paid to think. 99.99% of the time, you're not getting paid to think. When you're doing anything in life that actually matters, you are taking actions. Look, unless you're a professor in college, or you have an online education business or an education type of business where you are literally getting paid to teach, okay? That's like the one exception to the rule. But that would require you to think, okay? But most people hold themselves back in a gigantic fashion. It's not because they lack courage, I would say, because courage isn't necessary if you just stop thinking about what you're trying to do. Like if you see an attractive woman and you're single and you're walking down the street, you know, the moment you have an opportunity to think to yourself, should I go talk to her? Should I go ask her out to dinner or get her number? Like the moment that train of thought, you already started thinking, you already kind of ruined it. If you just walked up to her and said, hi, I'm Justin, I'm single, you're cute. Can I have your number? Would you like to go out to dinner with me? You know, it's that really simple. And I'm obviously not going to do that because I'm not single, but I'm just giving you an example of advice I would give myself. And the only thing that will stop you is thinking. It's like, oh, maybe what if she turns me down, or what if I'm not good looking enough, or what if? We have all these dumb what ifs based off risks and logic that generally don't serve us and help us. So when it comes to business, what has gotten me, Tony Robbins has a saying that says, if you stay in your head, you're dead. Tony Robbins said, if you stay in your head, you're dead. And what he's saying when he says that is like, you've got to get out of your own head and stop thinking about what you're trying to do, because chances are you already know how to do what you want to do and why you want it. The issue is you're too busy visualizing it and imagining it and wanting it instead of getting out there and just doing it. There's such a large sense of gratification to not thinking and just doing. Even as I'm planning my vlogs, I literally just will look at Google Maps and scroll around, and then I will just literally work on picking places almost randomly. I'll do a tiny bit of research, but almost randomly, that I'm gonna go do a YouTube vlog on, because the moment I decide and schedule it, it's done. But if I have to spend too much time thinking about, oh, do I wanna go here? Oh, do I wanna do this? Oh, do I wanna do that? Then all I do is I sit there staring at the computer for an hour, and I have made no progress, and I'm right where I started. So in life and in business, with relationships and in your health, you don't need to think about what you want. You just have to do it. And the more you do it, the more respect you will have for yourself, and you will internally feel way better as a person. Your self-confidence will be so much higher. I can promise you that. And if you continue to just think about things too much, and that comes with the territory of your career choice. Like if you're in a job, okay, if you wear a hat where you're required to think on behalf of other people, like if you're a lawyer or an accountant or a million other professions out there, those are just two quick and dirty examples. But if you're in like a lot of professions where you have to think through things all the time, and all you do is think, and you're getting paid to think, you're gonna have a hard time taking action probably in other areas of your life if the only actions you're taking are thinking. Because taking physical actions, like physically exerting yourself and physically doing something, and physically putting your body and your mind into other situations that are important to you, like the gym, or getting a better social circle, or going to like a meet and greet to expand your connections. all of those things that are going to be unfamiliar to you, you're going to slip out of your comfort zone pretty quickly just thinking about it. You're going to you're going to feel uncomfortable just imagining it, because if it's unfamiliar to you, right? And the opposite is true for things that you do all day, every day. You know, if you're working from home and et cetera, like that's super familiar to you. So for me, you know, the goal is to make things that are unfamiliar familiar, that that are important to me. And the only way you can do that is just you gotta shut it off. And there's this mindset and mentality in all over the world, really, where you know, you need a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. I'm all for planning, but at the end of the day, it's served me far better to have a plan, but then to stop thinking about it. And then if the plan doesn't work, you just create a new plan, and then you take what you've learned and then adjust the new plan. But so many people just make plans until the end of time, and then they do absolutely nothing. And it's the same, I hate to say this, but when it comes to books, like 99% of the time, if you're reading self-help books, like they're not gonna really help you, because you just can't retain the information. And the only thing that's gonna really help you is it will shift your mindset and open up your mindset. But the only thing that will really help you, the only thing you'll really remember after reading a business book or a book about whatever, relationships or finance, are what you write down on index cards, like flashcards, and what you quiz yourself on to bring it into your attention and focus on a daily basis, so you can try to take action and apply it. And even then, I'm more for the moment you discover something, you immediately start taking action in that direction. That's all you should be doing, is taking action. You know, words are literally like so not useful compared to actions. You know, it's like the words in a page in a book, like, because somebody can tell you exactly how to be successful at anything in life, and it just won't matter to 99% of people who hear it, which tells you that the only thing the person should have originally said was just get out there and take action, and don't come back to me, you know, and just reiterate and tweak, because like you don't need more advice if you're not going to take action in the first place. You know, as a coach and a mentor for business and for businesses and running ads for people for the last 10, 12 years in my life, it's like, you know, I see so many people become a victim of thinking. And the moment they see how to do something successfully, it no longer interests them or appeals them, because they realize like, oh, those are the actions I have to take to be successful. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want the outcome, but I don't want to do the actions. Maybe I'll find a way to do different actions that allow me to get the same outcome, and then they never reach the outcome because they want a different set of actions that feels good. It makes them less uncomfortable. It feels more familiar and less foreign. It's like, no, dude or dudette, like that's not how life works. Like, if you want to be successful, it's so easy. And I can say this to myself, like if I want to be a more successful YouTuber, all I have to do is look at what more successful YouTubers are doing and then basically model or copy or borrow ideas from them, like Mr. Beast or Ryan Trahan. Like, why do they get 4 to 6 million views per video? Well, they're not doing daily vlogs. That's the first thing. They're choosing to put a lot more time into the video editing. They're also choosing to put a lot more time into the idea of the vlog or the idea of the video. They're thinking about the title and the thumbnail way before they shoot the video. Unlike me, I'm just creating content and then I figure out how to title it and thumbnail it after I make the content, and it still works out pretty well for me, and the channel's still growing just fine. But I already know, like, if I want to be better, then I have to try to do things that they would do, or to do things that they would be thinking about doing, because that's proven to make them more successful. And why haven't I? I mean, the only reason and the answer is because of my own stuff, my own issues I have to work on. You know, it's just a matter of changing my strategy to do so. But yeah, I just wanted to give you some insight into directly offering advice to myself. You know, thinking less and doing more, and thinking less and doing more, and just getting out there. And just like, even this video is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. When I clicked the record button, I had a very, very vague idea of like what I was even going to be talking about on this video. I had like one sentence in my mind, and then I figured I'd just run with it and see where it goes. But that just tends to tell you, if you stop thinking, like I'm not thinking right now, I'm in flow state, which is just, again, not thinking, then you could probably offer and deliver something of value to your audience, your family, your spouse, your kids, your friends, your social circle, or whatever. And again, one thought experiment that helps me is just pretending that I have an audience of 300 people who care about what I'm going to say in a live setting, and someone asks me, hey, Just, in your own words, like, how can people take more action? Well, that's my immediate response. Like, you've just got to stop thinking about it, because I was the worst at it I'll summarize and finish this video. Like, I was the worst person. I would philosophize for ages. In fact, I spent years, while I had my best years in business, just thinking about stuff and almost never doing anything. And I convinced myself it was a good idea, that I was so smart because I could just walk around all day and go for walks every night and barely take any actions on a daily basis and continue to make this money because of decisions I had made, because I'd hired people to do the work. But my income eventually dropped off big time as a result of doing that. And I also lost a lot of respect for myself because I wasn't taking actions. I was just thinking about things nonstop. I became a victim of this horrible mindset of, oh, just think. Now I'm literally parallel the opposite. I need to think a little bit. I need to plan a little bit, but honestly, and for the majority of the time, I need to be just taking actions. And then once I'm, saying that, like, you don't want to think about it. You don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I'm taking action. That's what it's all about. Sound like a broken record here, but this is what a lot of people in the self-help industry don't tell you. They sell you a 700-page book. They sell you a 50-hour video course about how to do 2 words: take action. It's that simple. But then you're like, what do I don't know what to do? It's like, come on, you probably know what to do 99% of the time. If you don't know what to do, learn what to do, then stop thinking about it and then do it. End of story. All right, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and yeah, it's always fun for me to make these kind of quick little rapid fire reflection moment and periods to kind of help whoever I can with things and lessons I've learned in my life. So thanks, you guys rock. Subscribe and hit the notification bells if you want more content from me, and like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one. You guys rock. Bye for now.